Hey guys, it's Randy with Low Buck LS here again. I'm working up a sweat right in the middle of putting my transmission back in my Chevy Silverado with the turbo. And I'm not going to do a full video of the install because it's basically the reverse of, I already did a pretty detailed video of taking it out. Basically already got the transmission back under the truck and bolted up. Bell housing is bolted up to the engine, but just wanted to show a couple details like checking the converter end play, or basically how far it is from the flex plate, and then we'll flush out the cooler lines and all that and get all that old dirty transmission fluid out of the transmission cooler, and then we'll fire it up and take it for a test drive and see how this new transmission or rebuilt transmission shifts. So now we'll hop under the truck and I'll show you what I was talking about with checking the converter, basically the gap when the converter is fully seated into the transmission. You want a 1/8 to 3/16 gap between the converter and the flex plate. So I'll hop under the truck and show you what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so we're here underneath the truck, and like I said, transmission is bolted up to the engine, and we are looking in that access hole in the bell housing, and you can see the converter and the flex plate. So I just wanted to show you guys a couple things here before you bolt the converter to the flex plate. Your converter should turn freely. Like I can just stick one finger in there and it rotates. If it doesn't do that, something's not right, and you should take it apart again and figure out what's wrong. And then this gap here between the tabs on the converter and the flex plate, they say it should be 1/8 of an inch to a 1/16 of an inch, and you can see I'm closer to the big end of that. I'd say that gap is 3/16, but it'll be okay. But if it's any tighter than that or any bigger than that, you'd want to like put some washers in between there if it's bigger than that, or figure out what's put together wrong, or converter not seated right in the transmission or whatever if that gap is too tight. So now we will go ahead and get that converter bolted to the flex plate, get the starter put in on the other side there, get our shift linkage and drive shaft and cross member and all that in, and then we'll get ready to put fluid in this thing and flush out the lines. Alright guys, so we got the transmission in. Now last thing we're gonna do is flush out the cooler and where it goes through the radiator and stuff. So I've got the grill ripped out, and I'll just show you a couple. I've got a hose and some fittings here. So the way this fluid goes, it comes out of the transmission into the bottom of the radiator, and then through the radiator out this fitting at the top, and then it was routed a different way, but I kind of rebent the factory transmission line. But I think in that corner there I got it kinked a little bit, and so I'm worried that that line is gonna fail. And then it goes into the cooler, through the little cooler, and out this line back to the transmission. So I got this Derale transmission hose, supposed to be rated for 300 psi, and it's high temperature, so you wouldn't want to use just a regular hose. And then I've got two of these GM radiator adapters. So the part number for the hose is 13016. Part number for these adapters is 13035. So what I'm gonna do is Eventually, like I said, I'm gonna replace this steel hose that I bent too sharply down there with this rubber hose on these two fittings. But first, before I do that, I'm going to disconnect this fitting here, because this should be the return line going back to the transmission, and put one of these fittings in here and just run a clear plastic hose over the front bumper into a bucket here. And then I'll dump a bunch of I don't know, 5 or 10 quarts of transmission fluid into the transmission and fire up the engine for 30 seconds or whatever, and that should pump clean fluid through the radiator and this transmission cooler, and then out of the transmission cooler down into the bucket, which isn't there yet. And basically I'll pump it until I can see, should be able to see a change in the fluid when it changes from old dirty fluid to the clean stuff that I've just dumped into the transmission. So we'll do that now. Okay, and there you can see I've got that new fitting installed in the bottom of the transmission cooler there, and a clear hose that just runs down into that drain pan there. So now I gotta go get a few gallons of transmission fluid, and we'll put fluid in and try and get this old fluid out of the radiator and cooler here. Okay, so I went to the store and got 15 quarts of transmission fluid, and I've dumped one in. I was reading a procedure for filling these when the transmission is dry, and if you just dump in like 8 or 10 quarts of fluid, a lot of it is just gonna puke out the vent. So I've dumped in 5 quarts, and we're gonna start it up for about 3 seconds, and then we'll dump in some more. And when it starts up here, it should pump some of the fluid from the radiator and the trans cooler into that pan down there. So I had it started for a couple seconds, and I did start getting dirty fluid into that pan. So now I'm going to dump another jug of transmission fluid in, and then let it run until I can see clean fluid come out of that hose, and then we'll hook it up and take it for a test drive, see if it works. Okay, so I just dumped another 5 quarts of fluid in, so now I'm going to fire it up again, and we'll watch and see if we can notice a change from you can see the fluid that's in that hose right now is still pretty gross and dirty, and I'm hoping that we'll see a kind of a distinct change there once all the crap is flushed out of these coolers. I'm hoping we'll see nice, fresh, bright transmission fluid. So fire it up again and come back and watch this hose and see if we can see when it switches from dirty to clean fluid. So I shut the truck off because I was starting to see some air bubbles in there again, but fluid does look brighter there now. Okay, I got that old kinked and bent up hard line out of there. Got that hard line hooked back up, and this soft line ran with those snap-in fittings. Runs from that side of the oil cooler and hooks up to where it comes out of the radiator there. So now our trans cooling system is back together. Now I am going to fire it up again and stick the dipstick in and see where we're at for fluid level. And I'm also going to cycle the shifter through the gears just to kind of actuate all the pistons and solenoids and stuff inside to fill up all the oil passages in the valve body. So do that now. Okay guys, so in the middle of making this video, I ended up having to move, so you can see I'm in a new garage here, but so I've actually had a chance to drive the truck after the transmission rebuild for a week or 10 days now. There was a couple issues. One of them was a fluid leak, and I think, well, I know it was coming from where the dipstick tube goes into the transmission. There's a tab on the dipstick tube that goes under one of the bell housing bolts, and basically I didn't have that dipstick tube pushed in far enough, so when I'd park facing with the truck facing downhill, and it was kind of complicated by the fact that I think I had overfilled the transmission a little bit, but when I parked downhill, fluid would leak out of that dipstick tube. So yeah, I came out the next morning after rebuilding my transmission and saw transmission fluid running down the driveway, so I was kind of panicked there for a bit, but it turned out to be nothing major. And then the other minor issue, and I'm not enough of a transmission expert to know what's causing this, but everything works fine in drive, but first gear won't work in manual when I don't know, it might even be like a linkage adjustment or something, but works fine in drive anyways. So anyways, we'll hop in the truck here, and I'll bring the laptop so we can log some of the transmission settings, and we'll take it for a drive here and show you guys how this newly rebuilt 4L60E is working. Alright, so I'm in the truck. Got my co-pilot Lowbuck Tuck here with me again. He's looking out the window though, but oh, there he is. So I've got my laptop hooked up here, and basically what I'm interested in here is current gear and vehicle speed, and so we should be able to, as the transmission shifts, should be able to see our gear changes here along with our speed and our throttle position. So I'll fire up the truck now and we'll take it for a drive. Scanning now in first gear. And there you can see it shifted. Definitely shifts firmer with that new shift kit stuff in there. There it shifted into third. And I'm just coming up to a stop sign here, so you should see it there, shifted down in second, and there it shifted into first. And like I said, first works fine in drive, but not when I shift it manually. So on a little dirt road here, so we'll run her through the gears one more time. So, seems to work pretty good. So there you go. Transmission is working pretty decent. Like I said, other than that one small issue of it not going into first gear manually, which I'm not even too worried about because I don't really use that anyways. Looks like the transmission shifts, it definitely shifts firm, but seems to work pretty good. So now we can get back to doing some tuning on the truck. So that'll be what's coming up next. So we'll sign off for now, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye for now.